go back to talk about thought leadership. So why is this important to have this thought leadership for a manufacturer, and how do they do it?
I think top of mind for me on the why question is market share, mind share, ownership of the space, having your brand be the place that engineers who are going to buy your product think about when they reach that aspect of the problem. So if you make connectors, the design engineer is responsible for the whole new platform, the new box. When they get to connectors, you really want, if you can get them to think about brand X, it's brand marketing, really, and in my eyes, brand marketing is about getting the customer to come to you, and lead generation is about you chasing the customer. It's much more preferable, of course, that the customer comes to you.
Yeah.
So that's why you want thought leadership, because you want the customers to really sort of come to you.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it now, right across the board. Very impactful, really well thought out executions of thought leadership strategy. Just a couple of examples. I saw a whole campaign from Molex, the connector company, last year. Over a period of weeks and months, it seemed, that was just focused on the wearables market, what's happening there. And It was really well thought out, well executed. They're obviously pretty enterprise level, but it's not just, the big brands that are capable of this. It doesn't need a big budget. And one more example I thought was very interesting as well. Recon Power, they make power supplies. They're actually beginning their own e-learning programs, almost like their own university courses, as it were, on power supply design. So I think what you're seeing here, I'm still a publisher, as I said at the beginning, but I think you're sort of seeing now manufacturing brands challenging traditional media owners for the design-engineer relationship.
Yeah.
They're sort of jumping over them. That gives me concern as a publisher. I don't know how other publishers feel about it, but these manufacturing brands are really executing this thought leadership approach very, very well these days. There's lots of examples of it.
Yeah. And you can get information in so many places, right? I use YouTube every day when I have to search something, or I start with Google. Yeah, who doesn't, right? But again, it's always a few clicks before I find either the one who actually can explain the solution that I'm looking for in a good way, or actually I have to reword it a few times to find what is it exactly my problem is.
Right.
So I'm sure when manufacturers as well is creating this kind of content and have it on their website, that's also going to drive some leads or attention or clicks to their website.
Just to pick up on your sort of YouTube example, I think it's interesting to dial back 10 years. If you think about the beginnings of YouTube, it's probably more than 10 years ago. But if you were there when YouTube started, it was dancing kittens and here's what I'm making for lunch. It was just complete, entertaining but useless.
Yeah.
Who would have thought 10 plus years ago that YouTube would become probably the most used engineering education tool on the planet?
Yeah.
It's phenomenal to think about. So when I see new platforms like TikTok and I start to dismiss them, I sort of remind myself, well, don't forget YouTube. And of course, the big one now is ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And the other, generative AI platforms that are coming out. We can't dismiss those as well. They're going to be part of the infrastructure, I think, in the future, without a doubt.
Yeah. It's the calculator, right? Let's be more efficient. Let's be smarter, but let's not forget to be critical thinking of how we use it. I think that's how it is, and we should teach our kids as well. Can't just say you cannot use it. It's not like
probably ask what is a calculator, Santa, right?
I didn't say fax machine. Come on, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Mind Innovation Podcast. New episodes are dropping bi-weekly, so make sure you're following wherever you get your podcast. You can find me on LinkedIn, search for Sanna Winding. You can also find me on YouTube, search for Mind the Innovation, or go to my website, sannawinding.com or mindtheinnovation.com. Stay curious, keep learning.